Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kyra, and here on my channel we're all about real makeup for real life and real people. If you are new here, a very special welcome to you. I hope you will consider subscribing before you leave if you like what you see today. It'll help you find my videos more easily on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday when I upload. And allegedly, if you ring that notification bell to all, YouTube just might let you know when that happens. So today's video is makeup that I would personally love to see created here in 2021. Some of these, most of these actually, are based on other products that are existing, but maybe I want to see the line expanded or, you know, an addition or what have you. I do have a top 5 series here on my channel, which this is a part of. If you're new to my top 5 series, I just talk about 5 products in some type of category or concept. So let's go ahead and get into it. So the first product I would like to see created in 2021 is a pressed powder version of the Hourglass Veil Translucent Setting Powder. I love this powder, all-time favorite loose setting powder for sure, but I would really love to see a pressed powder version. Now, Laura Mercier has already done this. They have their translucent loose setting powder, and now they have it in a compact, which is extremely convenient, especially for Hourglass lovers on the go. And that's kind of where this desire of mine comes from. I love this loose powder, but there are some days where I just can't be bothered to mess around with a loose powder. Even though some are very easy to use, it's so much easier to just pick up a compact, swirl your brush in, go to town, and be on your way. So I really like to see a pressed powder version Hourglass. Next is one that I have mentioned before, and I think other people have as well, and that is a mid-sized Natasha Denona retro palette. I love this mini retro palette. It's definitely a favorite from 2020 for me, and I want more. I just, in my mind, imagine a mid-size palette from Natasha Denona with all the 60s and 70s colors of my dreams. That is my vibe. That is my comfort zone. That is my pleasure. I just love the tones. I like the muted. I like these, you know, look at this green right here. I think it is, yeah, it's this matte green in the middle that is 100, it's called 60s, and it's 100% a color straight out of the 60s. I want more Natasha Denona. I want that full, what is it, 18 pan palette that you get for the $65. Now, if we have to make it a full size for $129, I will have to buy it, but I would prefer it be a mid-size and just absolutely encompassing all that this little mini palette has to offer. Number 3, I don't think anybody's going to be surprised by this. I certainly am not. I want to see a third Persona Identity palette, or just a new palette from Persona altogether. I would love to see an addition to these 2 palettes. All right, so you have here your more neutral tones in the first Identity palette, and then you have some beautiful jewel tones, which I love to wear here in the Identity 2 palette. Do I have a color story in mind for the third palette? I don't know. Maybe something soft, romantic, rosy, wine colors. I don't know. I'm not the creative mind behind Persona Cosmetics, obviously, but I would really love to see a third palette with this same quality and everything that I love about these Identity palettes. I would love to see a third full-size palette, She does have a couple of those Color Theory palettes. I know there was a pink one and a copper one, and I never did pick those up. They're a little bit of a straightforward color story, not a lot of variation to offer, unlike the Natasha Denona Retro palette, where you have a little bit more variety to offer, which is why I would like to see a new full-size palette. Let me know down in the comments below if you have these or don't. What color story do you think Persona should work with next for a new palette? Like I said, I'd like to see something soft, romantic, maybe glam as well. I'll have to think on that. Number 4, I don't know if they ever had these or not. I haven't been around long enough, but I would really like to see from ColourPop, I know I'm tempting to bear here, I'd like to see a Super Shock bronzer. I love the soft putty texture of the Super Shock cheek formula, both highlighter and blush. One of the Super Shock blush in between the sheets is one of my all-time favorite blush colors to wear, and I love the formula too. The formula is, you know, putty-like, it's bouncy, but it also is really extremely blendable. And I'd love to see a bronzer, or a whole line of bronzers rather, in the same formula. I think it would perform beautifully on the skin and blend beautifully on the skin. I'd like to see some mattes. I'd like to see some luminous bronzers. And I definitely would like to see a color range that would be inclusive for everybody. So, ColourPop, if you're listening, why do we not have a Super Shock bronzer? One last product I would like to see created in 2021 is from one of my favorite brands, Charlotte Tilbury. I would like to see an airbrush luminous bronzer. One of the most exciting releases of 2020, according to not just me, but a lot of other people, was the airbrush matte bronzer. Do you ever wonder when you see things like this is obviously matte, right? So it almost seems redundant to have matte in the name for me. Now, when it comes to something like the Milani Silky Matte, it makes a little more sense, but this is the Airbrush Matte Bronzer from Charlotte Tilbury. So it makes me wonder, when she called it the matte bronzer, if she has intentions to create a shimmery, glowy, or luminous satin type bronzer that gives a little glow to the skin. I would love to see something like that from Charlotte Tilbury this year. I really like this formula. It's very, very nice, but I would even more like to see something with a luminous glow to it. I feel like it adds to the complexion. I know sometimes I'm definitely aiming for a matte bronzer for a purpose. Like if I'm going to wear a super glowy blush, typically not going to use a super glowy bronzer. But more often than not, I'm looking to use a bronzer that has a little bit of a natural glow to it, that just looks like I have really good skin, I used really good skincare, things like that. So I would really love to see a luminous or glowy version of this Charlotte Tilbury bronzer this year. And that, my friends, is a wrap. I hope you enjoyed this quick and short little videos. Videos like this tend to do really well on my channel, so please don't forget to give it a thumbs up before you leave. It helps me out to know what kind of content you would like to see in the future. And also down in the comments, let me know what kind of releases you would like to see from 2021, whether it's something that's created or an extension of something. I really love to hear your thoughts down in the comment section. And with all of that said, I appreciate each and every one of you that watched my video today. I love hanging out, and I hope all of your makeup days are absolutely beautiful makeup days. And I will see you in my next video real soon.